Hi everyone, this is Daryl and welcome back to Hypeword. Today I'm looking at the recently aired Brave New World TV adaptation and asking, is it true to Huxley's vision? Brave New World is an American science fiction dystopian drama series that premiered on NBCUniversal streaming service Peacock mid-July this year. According to the show, the series imagines a utopian society that has achieved peace and stability through the prohibition of monogamy, privacy, money, family and history itself. It's an adaptation of the dystopian novel Brave New World by British author Aldous Huxley. The novel, written in 1932, explores the danger of reliance on technology. The ruling world state uses powerful conditioning technologies and drugs, predominantly a substance known as soma, to control reproduction among the population and to control citizens' actions. Children are grown in labs and a type of eugenics is used to manipulate the characteristics of babies in utero, which will grow up either as alphas, betas, gammas, deltas or epsilons. Alphas are considered the apex of society, being smart and physically fit and attractive, while epsilons are considered the underclass, being physically less appealing and less intelligent. The lower castes are grown in batches so that hundreds of epsilons are the exact clones of one another. But importantly, the citizens of World State are also conditioned so that they don't want to be anything other than what they are. When epsilons go about their cleaning duties, they do so thankful they get to do this rather than have the responsibilities of those higher in the system. The TV show adaptation revolves around the characters Lenina, Bernard and John. Lenina and Bernard find that their perfect lives of hedonism and consumption begin to unravel when they travel to a Westworld-type theme park known as the Savage Lands, a primitive area that has remained unaffected by the World State society. Tensions rise and cracks begin to show in this apparent utopian society when John, a primitive from the Savage Lands, is introduced to their perfect lives in New London. Huxley used the settings and characters in this science fiction novel to express widely felt anxieties, particularly the fear of losing individual identity in the fast-paced world of the future. According to the TV show showrunner David Weiner, the TV show represented an opportunity to update and modernise areas of the original story, but also that parts of the novel still resonated and translated well, so that the TV show ended up hitting many of the same plot points as the novel. Some of the most noticeable deviations from the book include the Savage Lands theme park setting. In the novel, Huxley represents the primitive people in a Native American reservation area, where John lives with his mother. In the TV show, John listens to music to express and convey his thoughts and feelings, whereas in the original novel he does this through reading Shakespeare. These both seem like sensible modernisations on the original to me. Through music, John can express thoughts and feelings that can only be expressed through art, and through the Savage Lands theme park, we can see how lives we would consider quite ordinary by today's standards are shocking and fetishised by the people of New London. Another update, according to Weiner, was in how the show handled gender and race. He said there was a hugely problematic aspect of the book in terms of how it deals with some of its female characters and how the book intersects with race. He said those were the things that we needed to apply a more evolved, modern view of it to, and obviously our sense of utopia is different to what Huxley's sense of utopia was. Weiner also made some interesting updates to technology and included to some extent how social media and how having a constant connection to an online world might impact this depiction of a future society. Lenina as a character, I would say, is one that has been most changed for the TV show, showing more signs of a non-conformity than in the book, but again this largely falls within Huxley's arc for the character up to a point. Where the character and the story truly begin to diverge is in the conclusion to the season. I don't want to go into too many spoilers here, but I couldn't help but feel that in order for the show to cobble together a few cliffhangers for a second season, something is truly lost when comparing it to the powerful message in the conclusion that Huxley wrote. I was also gravely disappointed that the one character that truly fascinated me through the show, John's mum, Linda, wasn't explored more. I think Demi Moore's portrayal of Linda was fantastic and I really wanted for the show to go more into this, but it didn't. To be perfectly honest, Brave New World had its hooks in me before I even saw the first episode, and I hoped above everything that this wouldn't ruin one of my favourite classic dystopian stories. Despite highly anticipating the show, I will say I had to massively overcome my own purist attitude to everything that seemed to be marginally different to the book. I was all, I had to seriously check my levels. I was like, it's okay, Daryl, it's fine, it's allowed to be modernised and different, just breathe through it. And when I did this, I found that I was enjoying it a lot. The first half of the season for me is much stronger and ups the drama and tension than the book ever attempted to, which I completely get for a TV audience, and it really does work. I even appreciated the humour that cuts through the tension at well-placed intervals. The second half of the season is where it falls a little flat, and I'm not sure it knew what it wanted to be, so that it ended up, in my view, trying too hard to be what it thought a dystopian story should look like. Because of this, it waded into the dark realm of overused tropes and through the craggy mountain range of cliches. At the risk of now sounding like a purist, in my view, its weakest points are where it diverges mostly from the original story. Huxley's work was daring. We have to remember that this was written in between two world wars, during the 1930s, and in an era of depression, and here was a story that depicted eugenics, hypersexuality, hedonism, and drug misuse. So to me, it was a little disappointing that if you're going to set out to modernise this controversial classic and diverge from the original, that modernisation and divergence wasn't just as daring as Huxley almost a century ago. I know it seems a little contradictory to say that the weakest parts were where it diverged from the story, but also that it didn't diverge far enough. But perhaps therein was the issue. This new vision of a brave new world was neither brave nor was it new. It skims the surface of Aldous Huxley's dystopian epic without plumbing its philosophical depths. But this is often the case with TV adaptations of highly cerebral and philosophical work. Case in point, The Man in the High Castle. Some of Huxley's ideas about the future are still relevant today. The potential eugenic applications of CRISPR gene editing is a growing ethical concern. However, many elements in Huxley's original dystopia have been replaced by new threats. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is, as we speak, changing how we live. So who needs human alphas when a machine can do the thinking for you? And at the other end of the hierarchy, epsilons would be hard-pressed to find anything to do in today's automated factories. There's a scene with Lenina, who's a beta, working to implant embryos on a production line, and I was just like, all of this would be automated, surely? In a society that promotes pleasure and decadence over any sort of responsibility, why have your betters doing this instead of automatons? This concept might have been just out of Huxley's sight, but it isn't today. This type of consideration to modernising Brave New World wasn't applied, and I think this is largely why it feels stale in places and, to some degree, derivative. With more people across the world entering what might be called middle-class status, and social media and internet algorithms facilitating rather than diluting humanity's innate sense of tribalism, case in point Twitter, it seems to me a more relevant caste system to explore wouldn't be genetic, but infocentric. Who has access to education, knowledge, and free information online? But these are just some of my thoughts. I will say, however, despite this, for the most part, Brave New World made good TV. It was a visual treat, the acting was spot on, and I would recommend it to any sci-fi or dystopian fiction fan. If you're a Huxley purist, you might be reaching for the Soma in some cases, but just try to breathe through it. So that's it for my review. I would love to get your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a quick like to support the channel, and also subscribe for similar videos from me. Until next time guys, happy reading.